Thank you. We're honored tonight to have one of our officers acknowledged for many years of service. I'd like to call on Commissioner Doherty, please, for the proclamation.
Okay, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania proclamation. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Aston Township desires to recognize and honor Sergeant Michael Ruggieri of the Aston Township Police Department on the occasion of 25 years of faithful and dedicated service to Aston Township and the residents of Aston Township. And whereas Sergeant Mike Ruggieri was born and raised in Eddystone and is a graduate of St. James High School. Mike knew from a very early age that he wanted to be a police officer, as he had the desire to help others and wanted to serve as a role model for his chosen profession. And whereas Mike was hired as a full-time officer with the City of Chester from July 1995 to May 1997, prior to being hired as a full-time officer with Aston Township on May 13th, 1997. And whereas Mike served as a patrol officer until March of 2004, when he was promoted to the rank of sergeant. Over the past 25 years, Mike has received many commendations and accolades for exemplary police work. Mike has also served as a leader, mentor, and role model for many young officers, providing them with guidance which is necessary to be a community role model. Mike's ethical and moral principles, along with his exemplary job performance, has earned him the respect and praise from his fellow officers within the Aston Police Department and his law enforcement colleagues across Delaware County. And whereas Mike has served in many roles over the past 25 years, traffic safety officer, crash reconstruction officer, and currently serving as the supervisor of the detective unit. No matter the role, Mike has embodied the spirit of being a team player, as he knows the importance it has in the structure and development of a police department. And whereas Mike currently resides in Aston with his lovely wife Kelly and their children Ava and Nick, Mike has proven himself to be a valuable asset to the Aston Police Department as well as the community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Aston Township Board of Commissioners is proud to congratulate Sergeant Michael Ruggieri on his 25 years of dedicated service, duly proclaimed this 20th day of July 2022 by the Aston Township Board of Commissioners. Congratulations, Mike.
Speech. He won't. Congratulations, Mike. Thank you. Okay, moving on, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 15th, 2022. No second. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. I'd like to move on committee reports. Commissioner Doherty first, please.
Okay, I have the treasurer's report. Operating cash for the township and the general fund as of June 30th was $5,799,024. Other funds include the TD Bank Bond Fund checking account with a balance of $227,427, the TD Bank escrow checking account with a balance of $374,423, the TD Bank capital checking account with a balance of $725,070, and the TD Bank liquid fuels checking account with a balance of $523,069. Total cash balance for the township as of June 30th, 2022 was $11,603,716. And I move that we approve the total bills for July 2022 in the amount of $1,341,964.23 and payroll in the amount of $454,460.92 for a total of $1,796,425.15.
That's good. Thank you. Anything else?
No.
Commissioner Pendergrass.
Okay, thank you, Officers, Commissioner Stovall. The Public Works Director Activity Report for June 2022 to June 30th, 2022. The following report highlights the main activity of the Public Works Department, led by the Director of Public Works, Russ Palmore. All metal was picked up throughout the township. All township vehicles and Aston PD vehicles were maintained and serviced. All streetlight issues were reported to Lenai Electric for replacement or repair. All township parks and properties had branches and trash removed by the highway department. All small engine repairs were completed in-house by our two quality mechanics. All 811 call sheets were reviewed and applicable streets were marked as per 811 guidelines. A sinkhole in South Manor was repaired using tamped modified stone and concrete. The team cut and chipped 3 trees at the community center. Stumps were also removed. Completed installing 3 24-inch catch basins that connect to existing drainage pipe in Concord Square Park. 2 25-mile-per-hour signs were installed on Heatherton. Low-hanging branches were removed to allow a better sight line in various places throughout the township. The community center grounds were mulched throughout the township. The community center grounds were mulched. Our sanitation department picked up 92.66 tons of recycling and 587 tons of residential waste. Please remember that the first full week is metal and appliance week. Bulk trash week no longer exists. Anything that can burn can be put out on your curb for trash at any time. Please have your trash at the curb by 6 a.m. on the designated trash day. Any questions or complaints, please contact Russ Palmore, Director of Public Works, at 610-494-8005. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Pendergrass. Commissioner Berry?
Thank you, President Segal. This is the police report for June 2022. Incidents handled, 529. Accident investigations, 31. Criminal investigations, 26. Criminal cases cleared, 15. Clearance rate, Part 1 crime was 37%. Clearance rate for Part 2 crimes was 46%. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Berry. Commissioner Higgins, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the Building and Codes Department report dated July 13th. The following is a report for the permits and licenses issued for the month of June 2022. Beginning balance, $206,681. Total income from building permits and general contractors licenses, $72,252. Total electrical permits and licenses, $6,614. Total plumbing and heating, $22,535. Income from Board of Health licenses, $1,100. Income from peddlers and vendors permits, $900. There were no fees for commercial maintenance inspections. Income from certificates of occupancy, $3,800. Income from rental licenses, $450, and there was no income from street openings. Total revenue collected, $107,651. So the total for 2022 year to date is $314,332, and that compares to June of 2021, where it was $315,397. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Higgins. Commissioner Bowden?
Hi, I have a report from the library. The Friends of the Library are raffling off a 55-inch Sony Brava television. The tickets will be purchased for $5 at the library service desk. The drawing will be held at the Aston Community Center. The library is hosting kids programs in the gym this summer. They are every Wednesday at 1 p.m. The program on the 27th is the Eyes of the Wild and the Wallaby Tales Animal Show. The library is now back to all its hours from 2019. They're open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Thursday, and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Friday and Saturday. You can now get your free library app on your phone. Search your app store for Delco Libraries to get it. I also have a report from the senior citizens. Their next meeting will be held on September the 22nd at the Aston Community Center. It's a free lunch, and if your dues are paid, you get a free hoagie, and you get to spend some time with your neighbors. So if you're interested, you can contact Tina Gomer at Catherine, that's Katherine, Gomer, Gomer, at Comcast.net. And then I have one more thing. There will be a 9/11 observance on Sunday, 9/11 at 2 o'clock at the Aston Veterans Memorial. Hope you can all attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowden. Commissioner McGinn?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Stigall. Just a update from the Fire Committee. As I've talked about at numerous meetings, we had gotten notice from Crozier a few months back in terms of potentially changing their service and getting out of the advanced life support or chase car business, ALS. We've had discussions with Crozier amongst others, as well as with neighboring municipalities, the county, in terms of what options that we have. We continue to pursue that path and continue to move forward with it. And I would just emphasize that as of right now, no service has changed. That chase car still is based at the Aston Township Firehouse. And as I said, we continue to look for what the future options will be.
Thank you, Commissioner McGinn. Just want to bring a note. Commissioner Bowden mentioned that the library has back to full hours. With this extreme heat going on, we just want to let everybody know that that's a haven if you just don't have air conditioning in your house, or if you know of someone that doesn't have air conditioning that's elderly or non-elderly, please take advantage of the community center. There's a generator there. Power goes out. We still have power. You know, go to the library. You can sit in there, air conditioned, read a book, or just sit in the lobby just to cool yourself off. But please take advantage of it. It's an open facility to the residents. And with this extreme heat, in the next week or so, please try to take advantage of it. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report. A second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I need a motion to approve the bills and payroll report. Second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This time I'd like to open up the floor to the public for agenda items only. If there's something on the agenda that you want to question, please come to the podium. And seeing none, we're going to move on to our next segment, which is a conditional use hearings. I'd like to call on Commissioner Higgins, please.
Thank you. I make a motion to place the meeting in Sendai.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you, President Stigall. As indicated, you have two conditional use hearings on your agenda tonight. The first is the conditional use application of Newman University to use their property located at 602 Convent Road for student housing. This property is located in the ID district. The Township Zoning Code provides that colleges and university use is in the institutional district is permitted by way of conditional use, and use of one of the buildings as a dormitory also requires conditional use approval pursuant to Chapter 1279-03A and F. Public notice of tonight's hearing was advertised in the July 5th and 12th editions of the Daily Times. The property was posted and notice was mailed to the adjacent property. I have the affidavit of service from the Daily Times, which I will include in the Township's file. Present tonight for the applicant is Jim Byrne, Esquire, of the law firm of McNichol, Matlosky, and Byrne. Also present is Gene McWilliams, the CFO and Vice President for Finance and Administration for Newman University. I understand also Dr. Domas, the President of the University, is present. Mr. Byrne, at this point, if you'd like to get up and introduce the witnesses that you intend to call.
Sure, I think I'm going to call Mr. McWilliams only tonight.
Right, okay.
Can I call him to the stand?
Absolutely, yes. And if you'd like to have, I guess, him sworn in.
I do. Eugene McWilliams.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to identify where you work, please.
I'm CFO at Newman University.
And for how long have you been there?
Approximately 6 years.
And just tell us generally what some of your duties include there.
It's actually titled VPFA, Vice President of Finance and Administration, and the finance is obvious. The administration is dining, facilities, janitorial, grounds, bookstore, mailroom, a lot of other areas like that.
And this sounds a little bit awkward, but I have to make it for the record. This is a university, correct?
It is a university.
And you can get your degrees there?
You can?
Okay. And about how many students do you have?
Under 2,500.
Now, you're familiar with the property located at 602A Convent Road?
Correct. Yes, it is 602A.
Yeah. And I was going to hand up, if I could, a package. want? Oh, you don't want it? You want me to mark it?
Let them two share. Share that.
I want to show you a package that I've had marked as A1, and in it are some photographs. Can you just briefly go through that and tell us what those photographs are?
This is a picture of 602A Convent Road from the road bearing down to the property.
Mr. McWilliams, if you could hold them up and as you're identifying so that the commissioners can understand which picture you're referring to.
I did put them all in the same order.
Oh, okay, great.
Go
All right.
Let me
Just
just
next page.
keep you on that first page if we could. There's a driveway there, is that correct?
Correct?
And that leads back to some garages?
Correct?
And there is off-street parking at the site, correct?
Correct.
And you could fit a number of cars in that driveway,
Definitely.
as well as in the back at the garages,
Yes.
correct? All right, I'm sorry. Go through some more. That's just another picture of the
Page
front of
2,
the house with
same
the notice
picture.
on it, right?
Right? Page 3,
Same thing. front
same
lawn.
thing. Page 4, another angle. Page 5 looks about the same, at least in my package. Page 6 is a picture of down Convent Road towards Aston Mills Road.
Correct.
Has a mailbox 2A in front of it, as you can see if you're on the right picture. The other is, next page is for the other angle of the property in front of 602A down towards Convent Road, down towards the convent. The following page is across the street from the property, which is Mount Hope's property. Next page is the Marinda Center.
And that's located in the 500 block of Convent Road, correct?
Correct,
Okay. On the same side of the street as this property?
correct,
Okay.
as is the last page
Okay, thank you.
picture.
This property is located somewhat, I can't say directly in the middle, but pretty much in the middle of the campus, is it not?
It's in the middle of the campus and about the middle of Convent Road there.
Okay. And do you know what this property was used for before?
Yes, this property was owned by the Sisters of St. Francis, and on January 31st of this year was transitioned to Newman University as part of a bigger acquisition of or transition of the convent and other properties.
And we're here tonight for a hearing on a conditional use. What do you plan to use the property for?
Well, go back to your last question. It was used actually by a couple of sisters who lived there, and I'm not sure how many years, but a number of years, a couple sisters had lived in that property. We plan on using it for graduate assistants, 4 to 5 graduate assistants to live, and possibly students. But for right now, we're targeting this August to do graduate students.
Okay. You hear the term dormitory or on-campus housing, immediately Animal House comes to your head, or
Not to mine. I went to St. Joe's.
That's not going to be the situation here, is it?
Not at all. In fact, graduate students, GAs, as we call them, graduate assistants, are typically more mature and older and are there for more of a master's degree while helping us out in the resident life area of the university.
Okay. We talked about the parking. There's ample parking on the site, right?
Correct?
On the pictures, I was able to get pictures all the way around the building except in the back. In the back is located your athletic field?
Correct.
Okay. So would this property have any adverse effect on any neighboring properties?
I can see none.
Would this property have any adverse effect on any of the community as a whole?
Not that I can determine.
There won't be any glare or gases or anything created here?
And we would make sure no noise
No noise?
or a level of noise that's acceptable.
Okay, and you understand, we reviewed the comprehensive plan, and at section 719 of the comprehensive plan, the college is actually given a good plug, saying that it should be a good neighbor for a lot of years, and is a significant help to not only Aston, but surrounding communities. Is that
That's
right?
correct.
Okay. That would be all the questions I have.
Thank you. I just have a few questions, though,
Sure.
and I'll turn it over to the commissioners. With respect to the prior use of, just to be clear, because it obviously affects whether or not an inspection is going to be needed by the RBCO, it was previously used as residential dwelling for the nuns, am I
Yes.
correct? All right. And do you know how many nuns live there?
I'm aware of the last few years has been 2. I'm not sure if there's 3 or 4 in the past,
How many bedrooms are there?
4-bedroom.
Okay. And you talked about off-street parking. Do you know specifically how many spots there are for off-street parking?
I would say at least 8,
Okay,
all the way down the driveway and behind.
okay. I think Mr. Byrne addressed all of my other questions. Oh, I know. With respect to 602A Convent, does that property currently have a sidewalk?
It does not.
Okay. And the two adjacent parcels, left and right, do they have sidewalks?
They do not.
Okay. Can you explain to the commissioners what Newman's intentions are long-term with respect to the installation of sidewalks along Convent Road?
Sure. Since the remodeling of the Kiara House at the corner of that intersection, we have been attempting to put sidewalk and curbing in from the Marinda Center, the Wellness Center, which is next to the Marinda Center property, all the way down to the Kiara House. And we intend to do that. We'd like to do it this August. We have 2 other homeowners on that, on Convent Road that we are in discussions with to get an easement to put the sidewalk along their property also as one long strip on that road. My understanding is we have a right-of-way easement to go on the telephone pole side, the street side, and a very much narrow sidewalk like we have on the property across the street, Mount Hope. But we think it'd be better to do a regular sidewalk all the way down straight. So we have 2 other property owners that we're talking to try to get easements to allow us to do that. We would offer to indemnify them against any liability, slip or fall, over and above their homeowner's insurance if that's needed or that's a problem.
So I know it's a priority for the township that those sidewalks be installed. What would be your time frame, a comfortable time frame that you would be willing to give if the commissioners were inclined to put in as a condition to the approval that those sidewalks be installed?
We're attempting to do it by this August.
Right. So if we gave you like 5 years, would that be a reasonable
Easily, that
request?
would be
Okay.
fine. One way or another, we're going to do it.
Okay.
Well, we'd like to do it a straight line as opposed to the carve-outs on those 2 other properties. So any help the township can offer to make that happen, I think it's in the best interest of the whole township and Convent Road for a lot of different reasons that may be obvious.
Great. Those are the questions I have.
Commissioner Dockery?
No questions.
Are you saying this is for the graduate students? Is that what it is? They're going to be living there? Is that the-
Graduate assistants.
What
So
does
they
that
would be
mean?
graduate students also working at Newman University
Oh, okay.
in
Thank you.
different capacities.
Thank you.
Commissioner Barry?
Just a quick one. Do you plan to expand on these homes in the future, or don't you?
We do not have any intentional plans at the current time to expand that building.
Okay.
As far as the rest of the property surrounding it, that's to be determined. It's part of our, actually, campus master plan that we've shared with the township.
Thank you.
I have no questions at this time. Commissioner Higgins?
Thank you. At this point, I'm going to yield my time to Commissioner McGinn. I know he has some questions, and also the house is in his ward, so I may come back depending on what Joe asks, so thanks.
Commissioner Bowden?
I'm going to yield to Mr. Commissioner McGinn.
Thank you.
Commissioner McGinn, you're up.
Thanks. That gives me an hour, 2 hours. How much time? I'm only messing with you.
Let me get my water.
Because Mike usually asks a lot of questions, so when he yields his time, that's a big thing. No, in all seriousness, appreciate you coming out tonight. Just a few questions and understanding. So, in terms of number of students, I know you said there were 2 sisters that you knew of that live there. So, from a housing standpoint, is the 4 bedrooms expectation to have 4 residents there?
That's our current plan, yes.
Okay. And in terms for the grad assistance, Commissioner Prendergast had talked a little bit about it. Just for folks that are listening and are less familiar with the kind of academia, just elaborate. So graduate assistance is helping professors teach courses, or
We are putting together a policy on graduate assistance as we speak, and that would outline the kind of package that we might offer to the graduate assistants. They would be coming to school for either graduate programs, taking courses, matriculating, with the idea that they would maybe not pay full tuition, part tuition, or get a stipend to live, and that they would work also, maybe in resident life, athletics, could be in the academic side of our operation, or all kinds of other ways, just in the general operations of the university.
Okay, so would they be Newman employees or no?
I do not believe there'll be W-2 employees.
Okay.
They might receive a stipend and get some form of compensation, along with the benefit of tuition,
Got it, okay,
tuition remission, as we call it, Joe.
okay.
Yeah.
And then from a colleague who was here previously, Bill Leonard, the question came up in terms of property taxes.
Sure.
So in this case right now, it's a property that pays taxes, for property taxes, county, school district, and municipality. So he expressed that with the new use, it would move off of the property tax rolls. Is that your understanding?
We plan to file before the August 1 deadline for tax exemption as a 501c3, that's correct.
Okay, and do you know by chance what the property taxes are now at that home, or what the impact would be?
I happen to have the property tax bill that we're about to pay, and it's $4,005.77 is the total Penn-Delco School District tax,
Is a school district piece? So that,
school district piece.
Okay.
And my understanding is about $900 dollars, maybe just under $1,000 would be what Aston Township would get.
okay. All right, thank you. And then in terms of, you talked about the master plan and growth of the university, but for folks trying to understand what you're looking at, I certainly understand some of it, but would you mind just elaborating on how this smaller piece, fits in for what you're looking to do at Newman?
Certainly. We have a very robust campus master plan, and it calls for things such as a ice rink on our campus, a student center, possibly a hotel, or a combination of what they call P3, private-public partnership, to do some kind of hotel operation. So it's a grandiose master plan for the whole university for the next 7 to 8, 9 years.
Okay.
That Convent Road is to be determined. If we eventually, God willing, own all the properties on that street, the 2 remaining that we don't currently own, we would come to the commissioners for approval of any further development plan.
Okay. And in your perspective, as a longtime employee at Newman, and as the commissioners here in Aston, what is the benefit in terms of for Aston Township and the residents for the university and its future plans?
Well, there's tremendous benefits to, I think, the Aston Township overall. I think we're the largest employer. There's, of course, the 1% payroll tax for our employees pay to the township. We pay our own trash. There's no services of waste management that the township bears for us. We pay it separately. We have police and fire. We pay separately for our EMTs, for any special police operations. So all the different costs we pretty much absorb, along with all the Chester Water and Sewer Authority payments that we make every year. This will just continue to expand that a little bit, a very little bit, but that it would be a benefit, not a detriment to the township.
Yeah, and I think you answered it with Mr. Byrne when he asked the question of you, but for your near neighbors and the properties you don't own, expect good relations there, or any expectation of issues from a neighbor standpoint with the new use?
We've had great relationships with everybody on Convent Road. We continue to have them, and we're in discussions with those other 2 property owners now.
Yeah, and lastly, I appreciate you going through the sidewalk plan, because that's always one of the challenge and a focus. I know years ago, long before I was on the board, kind of a push to have a walkable community. And, I appreciate your answers there. The one question, is it the Kiara House? Is that how you pronounce it?
Kiara House, yes.
Yeah.
It's 601A
Yeah.
is the address. Yeah.
So, and I know in this initial plan, and Bill Leonard had sent an email to the board. I think it meant to Bill DeFeo, and he shared it with the board. So the sidewalk kind of that you're planning now goes up to that property. And so from a corner standpoint, is there an intention or a plan that ultimately you would put sidewalk there as well?
On
Not-
which area?
where that house is. Like,
Oh,
will
on
ultimately
Kira
be
House,
sidewalk
on the
and
corner?
curbing there? Yeah.
That'll be determined once we go forward with the plans for an ice hockey rink on Aston Mills Road, off of
Okay.
Aston Mills Road. We will have to consider, it's a PennDOT road, so we'll have to work with PennDOT to see what the requirements will be. So it would not make a lot of sense to do anything right away that might be torn up in the future. So the answer would be to stop at that corner until we have further advice from PennDOT as to what we're going to do further in the future.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And just one last thing, and no more questions, but just a comment. You know, from my perspective, and kind of from the second ward on that area.
Right.
I think it would be a positive benefit in terms of to turn that corner and ultimately to find a safe way for pedestrian crossing. You're kind of boxed out where the apartments or where you guys have the dorms there on the one hard corner where Mount Hope is.
Right,
So there's
beyond
not
the building.
necessarily room to do a crossing there. And ultimately, you know, with where Aston Pizza is and the former deli, you know, if that gets redeveloped, you know, having an access way with the elementary school and things there really would open up the walkability of that side of Aston. So I just, you know, ask you to consider that as you move forward and in your future development plans.
Understand. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
Will do.
That's all of my questions.
All right, anyone in the public have a question? Oh, you do? I'm sorry, wait, hold on.
I don't think I gave my time back to Commissioner Higgins, but I'll formally do that now.
Could I have some time back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe didn't get in too much into the sidewalk issue there, so I want to just understand better. You were talking about a narrow sidewalk, but you were going to come on the opposite side of the telephone pole, is that what you're saying?
Our desire
the
is to
inside?
do that on the opposite side of the, not the street side of the pole,
Right,
but the
right.
other side of it, to make it wider, a regular 5-foot, I believe it would be, regular sidewalk path. We wouldn't have the room to do that on the telephone pole or the
Right.
street side of that. It'd have to be a 3-foot, I believe, sidewalk.
So then you would have the grassy area on the other side to the street.
Correct.
Right. Okay. I noticed in one of the pictures here, especially what's in front of the Marinda Center, there is curbing. Is curbing in the plans?
Yes.
Okay. That's
We
the only-
have, from the Marinda Center down to the Wellness Center, which is next property, there's sidewalk and I believe curbing. If not, we would take it from the Marinda Center all the way to the Kira House, curbing and a regular sidewalk.
Okay, that's all I wanted to hear. It's curbing, because curbing has two real good purposes. One is it directs water, and also it stops the edge of the street from deteriorating. So,
Right.
okay, I'm fine, thank you.
There's an aesthetic value too. It looks-
And there's aesthetic value, yes.
Bill, you have a question?
Yes, Gene, one quick question. Does the building have a basement?
Yes.
Are any of the bedrooms in the basement?
No.
Thank you, that's all I wanted to know.
Washer dryer, I think.
Joe, you have any?
The only thing I wanted to put on the record, and I had this comment when Bill circulated the email about the sidewalk, is that any of the sidewalk, and this really is, but we'll just get it on the record, that has to be ADA compliant.
Correct.
Kelly, you got anything? All right, anyone in the public? Carol, just.
My question is about your name.
Yeah, you just have name and address. It's been a while.
Carol Cannon, 92nd Avenue. My mailing address is Meaton, but I live right in the heart of Aston. Can you spell your last name? C-A-N-N-O-N. Boom boom. My question is with the sidewalks, the stormwater management then on Conditional, would that be addressed? I mean, who's going to be responsible for, would we have to worry about the stormwater management, or will Newman take care of that?
On where, Carol?
On Convent Road, when he puts in the sidewalks and the curbs, what's gonna happen to the water?
There's drainage there now, right?
Are there drains
Yeah,
there?
there's drains
There
on
is
that street.
drainage there? Oh, okay, because I know we have problems down Aston Mills Road.
Yeah.
We've had problems for a long time. But I've come through there, and even without the curbs, there's puddles. There's a huge puddle that's right near that house that you're talking about.
My response would be that we would work with the township engineer to make sure it's done properly. We don't want puddles either, so but safety of our students is number one priority.
Yeah, especially winter, that freezes up. All right, we'll look at it. Thanks, Carol. You had a question, sir? Name and address, please.
My name is Bruce Montag. I'm chairman of the trustees of Mount Hope Church, which includes a cemetery. You want my home
No, that's sufficient, Mount Hope.
Montaj. We have trouble with the stormwater from Convent Road coming into the cemetery. There's one drain there, it has washed out the cemetery, it has washed out our roads. We put a berm up. We only have enough room up to this berm because of the water for burials for about another 2 years. This water can go out, it floods Concord Road. The state highway drainage system has been blocked. The township tells us for about 10 years, can't get the state to move. I've called twice about it to get it opened up. It'll go down, it'll wash out the driveways to the entrance to the side parking lot, the Mount Hope Church. We don't feel it's fair that all this water from Convent Road, and if the college plans to expand, is being dumped into the cemetery where we can't expand. And we'd like to know, can anything be done about it? Can you help us improve this?
Well, when you're talking about expansion, there's rules and regulations. Joe, I'll let you kind of, how we address stormwater and.
Yeah, it's, first of all, I had talked to Mr. Hoopman's office about that particular issue, and asked him to, because he had done the original plans for the expansion of the cemetery, because this was brought to our attention before. But I think that anything they're doing now, they're not expanding the building, but the township in general has as you heard Mr. McWilliams talk several times about the master plan for the university. And obviously, that master plan, the township is going to be looking very carefully at stormwater management up there, because it has ramifications not only through the cemetery, but down through the entire watershed of some other property owners below the cemetery, so we're going to be paying very close attention to that when this master plan starts to be implemented. So.
This master plan, they said would be 5 to 7 years. We have about 2 years, and we're out of burial space.
Well, I do have a question for you. On the drain that you're talking about, that's the one that comes in off of Convent Road. It drops down and just shoots out at the cemetery. It goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere? Well, in a heavy rain.
No, meaning there's no other piping
No,
there.
that's correct.
It goes right onto Mount Hope Cemetery property and dissipates throughout the ground.
Not really.
Well, trust me, I've been there, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I brought this up, that is a drain to nowhere. And that's where you're catching your water. There's other drains alongside that drain on Convent Road. That, what's happening.
They all feed into that pipe.
There's other drains that go into a piping system. Then there's a drain that just drains down and shoots out onto Mount Hope Cemetery. Then there's another drain. And I had brought this up before, that drain needed to be closed off, because that would stop that water from getting on the Mount Hope property and go to the other drains. So it won't wash out, because by the 3 crosses, that's where that all washes out. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's a drain to nowhere.
Right.
That thing should be blocked up, cemented, and let the other 2 drains on Convent Road accept that water and go into the piping system.
Joe, can we look into that, you and I?
Yes.
Okay, Joe and I will
And
look
as
into
I said,
that.
I had called Hoopman's office about it also.
Okay.
so.
Yes, we'll take care of that.
So, yeah,
Yep.
we're aware of that. I kind of thought it was, we're gonna look into it. I know exactly what you're talking about. That one drain there that just shoots water out off a convent onto the cemetery property. We'll take care of that. We'll look at that. Anything else?
No.
No? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Beth, you'll back to you.
Okay. Okay, next on your agenda is the conditional use application of Samantha, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. Mr. Byrne, are you finished?
Yeah, I just was going to hand this in.
Sorry. Thank you.
Should we stay tonight, or?
They will be voting tonight. Yep.
Thank you all very much.
All right, thank you. Beth, we have another.
Yes. Okay. Next on the agenda is the conditional use application of Samantha and Patrick Moore to operate a portrait studio on their property located at 2631 Mount Road, Aston, PA. This property is located in the R2 residential district but is also subject to the Rockdale Arts Overlay District. Public notice of tonight's hearing was advertised in the July 5th and 12th editions of the Daily Times, and I will have publication of this notice introduced into evidence in the file. The property was also posted and notice was mailed to the adjacent property owners. By way of background, in October of 2021, the township adopted the Rockdale Arts Overlay District in order to encourage a mix of small-scale creative home business uses and arts-related businesses in commercial spaces oriented toward or supporting the visual, performing, and cultural arts while maintaining the residential character of the underlying residential neighborhood. The property at issue, 2631 Mount Road, falls within that district, subject to conditional use. Meaning, if you want to develop or use the property in one of the ways identified in this district, conditional use approval is required by the board. Present tonight are Samantha and Patrick Moore. May I suggest that they both collectively be sworn in? If you'd like to go up to the podium.
Or you can use the handheld also.
Oh, sorry,
Just make sure it's working.
I forgot.
Raise your right hands, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
They were hiding.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of like give you some introductory questions and then let you guys run with it. If you can start off by giving a little information about yourself, what you do for a living, describe the current use, or at least the former use of the building, and how you and your husband intend to use it in the immediate future and then in your long-term plans.
Sure. Is it possible to hand these out? It's all
Absolutely.
in here.
And then, as we did with the Newman matter, we'll have your packet collectively marked as Exhibit A.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I gave her instructions, and she's ready to run.
Yep, I am ready. So I will introduce us. So I am Samantha Moore. That is my husband, Patrick Moore. We met as undergrads at Penn State and, kind of have really become entrepreneurial after our time there, and are excited to kind of introduce you to this studio project that we're hoping will live in the Rockdale Arts District. So we have dubbed this Fern and Ivy Studios. We're really inspired by the space. Sorry, thank you. And you can flip to the next slide. So Patrick and I, like I said, we went to Penn State. After graduation, I was really bit by kind of the entrepreneurial bug. I started my business, Samantha J Photography, in 2014, and really have cemented myself within the Philadelphia wedding market as one of the premier photographers in that space. I serve about 40 to 50 wedding couples per season and have just seen growth year over year. To the point where now I am ready to kind of move into the next phase of my business, focusing on studio portraiture with families and babies. Patrick started his career working in sales, and by the time we hit 2019, he was kind of ready to step out on his own. He launched the Best Philly photo booth right before COVID, which was a great plan. It seemed like bad timing, but it really kind of has worked out for us. He's seen incredible growth over the last few years as events have kind of gotten back to normal. He went from 12 events in his first season. He's now serving over 400 couples in a single wedding season. So it's incredibly exciting. All of this growth we have made from our home. We work currently in our house, which is wonderful, but we've kind of hit a point where we're ready for a big move, which is what led us to finding the Crozierville Public School, which is located in Rockdale. So I'll kind of push you to the next slide, and I'll let Patrick take this.
So the growth that we have discovered is really because of the high quality of the work. We're very personal people. We're very, very attentive to communication. It has really enabled, the growth that Samantha touched on was, just for myself, is just like ridiculous to me. About 14 events in 2019, and this year I'll do about 415, which is a lot. And but I truly love every second of it, and it's really helped us get to this moment. So Samantha J Photography is Samantha's business primarily based in that wedding photography space. My photo booth company is primarily based in weddings and other events, and the growth has really enabled us to kind of break into other brands. So there's a new brand, relatively new brand called Les Papillons that Samantha started in 2020. That is going to be that family and baby brand, kind of as a little child company to Samantha J. And then the studio space is really something that we're really excited about because we just can't be in the basement anymore. It's just tough for us to be down there, and we just need a little bit more space, and we have a plan.
So really, that evolution of both of our businesses is what led us to search for a commercial space. Originally, we were thinking about renting. We met with a real estate agent who said, I might have something for you, and he took us to view the Crozierville Public School. And from the minute we stepped inside, it was like, okay, this is it. And there was just so many things that seemed like it was calling us to move forward and to, be part of this arts district. So there were 3 things that felt like fate kind of tapping us on the shoulder and saying, this is where you're meant to be. So the first was the Rockdale Arts Overlay, which was, so beautifully put together by the Rockdale Arts District. We have Jared here today for us, and Veronica Batter, who's, I think, sent a letter of her support for us as well. So that was put into place in 2021. We viewed this space in 2022, and it was like, how is that even possible? It was spoke directly to our business goals when we thought about having a physical space. Number 2, we also live locally. We're a 5-minute drive from this space. We had no idea it was there. So when we drove up, we're like, we pass this road every day. This is incredible. And number 3, the incredible thing about this business is not only does it have space for Patrick and I to have a home, but it also gives us an opportunity to create spaces for other local artists to really flourish in their endeavors as well.
So we have laid out a couple
Excuse me,
short-term
Mr. Moore.
goals.
Could you speak up at the same tone your wife is using so the people at home can hear what it's all about?
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have laid out a couple short-term goals, a couple long-term goals for the space. Obviously, short-term goals really simple. Begin the restoration of the property. Create the inspiring spaces within them to really help people and get their creative juices flowing. And then the Rockdale Arts local initiatives, take part in them. That's a really big deal because there is a lot of potential in that area, and we really love it. And I think there's a lot of things that could be really awesome to happen through that space. So I think that just kind of being part of the kickstart that Jared and has certainly been a part of already, I think that there's just a couple more things that can happen, and all of a sudden we're really right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so our long-term goals really are to become kind of a linchpin of this Rockdale arts community. This building is central on that Mount Road stretch that starts, I think a lot of the arts-based businesses have started to kind of fill in that. And this one is really kind of that central focus that can really tie all that together. So kind of locking that down into an art space seems very important to kind of the mission of this entire Rockdale Arts overlay. So for us, we want to be a cornerstone for events. I know that there's been talk of, having more arts-related events that happen along Mount Road. We want to participate in the revitalization that we're seeing in that area and, be able to kind of help keep pushing those initiatives along. So just helping to foster really that welcoming community is just incredibly important to us.
So we're very, very excited about this. We have engaged with several different professionals, including an architect, structural engineer, a general contractor, environmental engineer, a surveyor, and our banker, just to help us get moving. Everybody's been very supportive and very positive. And I think that it's just, things are kind of coming together.
Certainly, yeah. So I'll kind of take you to our next. So we see the restoration of this building in 3 phases. So for us, our initial phase is to clean up the exterior of the building. The picture you see here is a historic image of this building. It does not look like this right now. But this is really what we're inspired by. We're really inspired by the beauty of the building, just restoring it to what it was, and having it be that beautiful focus of Rockdale. So clean up the exterior, restoring the major systems inside. So that's obviously going to get us up and running. Have heat, have air conditioning, electric working. That's really our initial phase, and just making that first floor usable for both myself and Patrick. Phase 1. And our phase 2 is super focused on that rentable artist space. So phase 2 focuses on, again, the first floor. There's 2 main classrooms on the first floor, and then a back channel where we can fit other artists, break out other artist spaces. So that's the goal of that second phase. Our third phase would be expanding to the second floor and creating more artist space up on that second floor. So this next slide is really just our inspiration for the interior of the space. Again, like I said, we're super inspired by just the bones of this building. It's so beautiful. We really want to keep the character inside. I know for me, I was raised in a historic home, so I was raised in a converted barn. So I love character, and that's really what we want to lean into in this space, is the character that's welcoming for everyone who comes through, but also is in keeping with Rockdale.
So these are our first draft of schematic plans. Still to be edited and to be perfected. There's a couple things that are wrong. But what I wanted to point out is just that this is just an example of what we've done thus far to get things moving and planned and have this building become the homes of these businesses as soon as possible. And it makes us even more excited, frankly. So that's all.
Correct. The main goal of this is, like we said, is reclaiming those large studio spaces for our use, and then creating those individual studios kind of throughout. And you can see some of those dotted lines within this drawing show some of those broken out smaller spaces. So our next slide speaks directly to parking. So what we're projecting, this in the bottom right-hand corner is kind of a projection of parking spaces on the lot. So what we're projecting at this point is 25 spaces. And we think that that's a very doable number within what we have. On the back end of the lot, there is a retaining wall that we think we could fill in, have parking on the back side, and then also on that western side to also have more parking with 2 ADA compliant spots that lead directly into the first floor. So that's what we have in terms of parking at this point. We do think once we're at full capacity of the building, it may require a variance, but all things that we would like to work on. And that last page is just us.
Okay, I have a few questions for you.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
With respect to your current intended use, and that would be for portrait studio for Samantha J.
Yes.
The Le Pavillon photography.
Yep.
And then with respect to the Best of Philly photo booth, will that be used as storage, or would that be used for more of a creative space?
It will be more desk space, so running the business day to day.
Okay.
Yeah, I have storage facilities throughout Philadelphia that the equipment lives in.
Okay.
So it won't.
So
be
this is strictly
kept there.
creative desk space for me.
Okay. And with respect to, again, just your use, how many parking spots do you currently have?
At the space right
At the
now.
property, right?
So it is still under ownership for the Aherns. We have our agreement of sale.
Why don't we go back to the plan?
Sure.
I love your family picture, but.
Yeah, not helpful at all.
Questions will be back to the plan.
Right.
Certainly.
Next, one back. Okay. Just stay there for a minute. 'cause-
Sure.
Okay, well, that brings up my question, because I was under the impression that you had already gone to settlement. So are you, is it fair to say that you're the equitable owner, meaning that your agreement of sale is subject to getting this approval?
Yes.
Okay. The current ownership, are you familiar with how many parking spots there are?
So he does not have any on the property at this point. He owns a property right next door, and I believe that's where the majority of his parking happened.
Okay.
I'm not sure the last time it actually functioned as a business, so I can't really speak to Dutchman Fountains as it was.
Okay.
I don't.
So for respect to Samantha J, your business, how many members of the public, clients, do you anticipate having?
I would only serve one person at a time. So, and typically I would only take on one portrait session in a day.
Okay.
So I mean, one car, a family would typically come in one car.
So between you and your husband and the client, you'd need maximum 3 spots?
3 cars.
Okay.
Yes.
I think we had talked before, but I just wanted to put on the record with respect to the issuance of certificates of occupancy, business permits.
Yes.
With respect to your phase 1, that what you'll be issued will be limited only to that use, and that once you're up and running with respect to the tenancy, that you'll be expected to go back and obtain new permits.
Okay.
And you're in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay. And then with respect to the proposed tenants, again, since there's a lot of unknown, can you give the commissioners assurances that those future tenants will, their use of the space will fall under the umbrella of small-scale visual performing or cultural arts-related businesses?
Yes.
Okay. And you will obtain all necessary permits from the building code office
Yes.
prior to undertaking any of this renovation?
Yes.
And your proposed signage, do you have that now, or?
We do not have that at this time.
Then I just want to make sure that you understand that any proposed signage also is going to have to be within the limits of the current township ordinances, or you'll have to go to zoning for
Yes.
for relief. Okay.
Okay.
And do you believe that this proposed use, these are some gimme questions, do you believe this proposed use is appropriate for the site and the neighborhood in question?
Yes, definitely.
And do you think this proposed use will adversely affect the township's ability to provide fire protection or police services?
No.
Okay, those are the questions that I have. Turn it over to the commissioners.
Well, let's just keep going. Joe, you have any?
I don't have any really questions for this use. My questions will come with parking and those type of things.
The most excited commissioner about this, Commissioner Doc.
Well, first off, great presentation. Well done. I had a bunch of questions about parking. You've already addressed them. Thank you. When do you plan on making settlement?
Settlement at this point, it was set for October 31st. We have pushed a little bit because of the timing of this meeting. We wanted to make sure that things went well. And then there is some things that the Aherns may need to clear up before we go to settlement. So it may be 2023,
Okay. All right. You know how old the building is? What year it was made?
1917.
1917. Okay, because I know that from a code perspective, anything made before 1927, I think there's different code requirements. Okay. And I think we spoke before. I think you really need to get in touch with the Historical Society. Fortunately, one member is sitting in the back there, Carol Cannon, so you can talk to her.
Yes. We tried to stop by the other day and we just missed them in their time.
No further questions. Thank you.
I have nothing.
Commissioner Barry.
I have nothing either.
Questions I did have, our solicitor handled with as far as getting COs for the other businesses on the second floor, so we know, recreational activities and arts can go to many different ways.
Well, I was also, and I discussed this with her, concerned about if there's going to be a kiln. I mean, if one of the artists has a kiln involved, obviously that's going to have fire safety issues that will be.
Main issue was the parking, beautiful presentation on trying to get that other stuff out there. And then just by curiosity, are you planning outdoor pictures in that area?
outdoor pictures. At this point, I'm planning for most things to be indoors. I think with the amount of parking we need to fit, I won't have as much outdoor space. So,
Well, talk to Commissioner Docker, he'll find a spot.
okay.
All right, Commissioner Higgins.
Thank you. Ditto with the presentation, very good. So once you take possession of the property, when do you think Joe Ahern's going to get all his lawn ornaments out of there and put them somewhere else? So
He has said that when he is under a deadline, he performs. So he has said that they will all be out. All the lawn ornaments will be out. We don't have necessarily a timeline.
Okay.
But he said that they will all be gone.
He owns the store with the Briar's ice cream sign. He could probably put them in there.
Yes, it's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
Right.
He did say prior to settlement.
Yeah. So now, you talked about improvements, and as you move along to the upper floors, for example, I see you having to, the individuals that come in having to get a certificate of occupancy because, you know, for electrical work and so forth, they'll have to do that, just so you know that as they come in, that'll have to be done.
Okay.
And part of their certificate of occupancy, I believe, would be to, for the number of parking spots, to make sure that those are what you say they are, you know? Okay, it's part of it, so. And that's about all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Bowden?
Great presentation, and you did answer my questions about parking. I have a great location for outdoor pictures. Newman has beautiful, beautiful gardens up there that you can use for outdoor pictures. That's all I have.
Commissioner McGinn?
Thank you. Now, I think this is great. I was actually somebody that grew up in a family that had started as a photomat, but a portrait studio and photography. So I think that's terrific, and hopefully your kids enjoy some of the legwork and helping out in a family business, because that can be tough sometimes. But really commend you in terms of being entrepreneurs, and thank you for considering Aston. Just one question, from in terms of the portrait studio and the use. Is it more modern photographer in terms of digital, or do you have any intention for a dark room or anything like that?
I shoot digital. Anything that needs to be sent to a darkroom, I send elsewhere. I don't do any of the processing of film myself.
Okay. Yeah, that was just a question I imagine would come up from a wastewater thing and what we need to do for Southwest. But
yeah, nope.
Yeah.
All
No.
will be elsewhere.
Thank you.
No, I just want to say, Patrick and Samantha, great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, anyone in the audience has a question? Yeah. I just need name and address, and then you
Jared Loss, 2650 Mount Road.
Spell your last name?
Loss, L-O-S-S. So I live across the street from the property. Actually had some interest in buying the property at one point too, but it didn't work out for us, and I couldn't think of a better group couple to take over the reins and keep on moving with the arts district. And I'm really excited. Just kind of we created this groundwork for this, and this is the first time to get to see it be put to use. So you beat me to it.
Anyone else? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to call on Commissioner Higgins, please.
Thank you. I make a motion to take the meeting out of Sendai.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, here we go. Strap in. Line item A, consider a motion to approve the conditional use request at Newman University to allow property located at 602 Convent Road. Commissioner Dougherty, please. I'm
Thank
sorry, my fault.
No problem. I make a motion to approve the conditional use request of Newman University to allow the property at 602A Convent Road to be used for student housing, and I make one note per our solicitor, subject to condition that curbing and sidewalk be installed within the next 4 years.
Form of motion?
In form of a motion.
I have a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations. Thank you. Line item B, consider a motion to approve conditional use request for property located 2631 Mount Road for a portrait studio. Commissioner Doherty, I'm sure you're going out.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the conditional use request of Samantha and Patrick Moore to use their property located at 2631 Mount Road as a portrait and related art studio. Approval subject to the condition that, one, any future use by proposed tenants of the property must be a small-scale visual, performing, or cultural arts-related business. And two, all necessary permits for the renovations be obtained from the code department, and once individual studio space in or on the property is leased, an updated certificate of occupancy is required. In the form of a motion.
I have a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Congratulations. Welcome to Aston. Line item C, consider a resolution to approve the three-lot subdivision. Commissioner Higgins, please.
Thank you. And is could print be any smaller? Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Resolution Number 2022-106. Final subdivision plan approved. Approval JQA Aston LP for a parcel of ground identified by folio number 020001878010. Whereas a final three-lot subdivision plan has been submitted for 3.531 acres of ground located between Concord Road and Pennell Road, Lot 1, Walgreens 3220 Concord Road, Lot 2, Dunkin' Donuts 5101 Pennell Road, and Lot 3, Brewster's Ice Cream 3630 Concord Road. Whereas a formal plan dated the second day of May 2022, including 2 sheets, was prepared by G.D. Hootman and Sons Incorporated. Aston Township filed 2022-02 has been presented to the Board of Commissioners. Now therefore be it resolved as follows, that the Board of Commissioners recommend final approval subject to the following: compliance with Pannoni Associates, Inc. letter of June 15, 2022, compliance with Delaware County Planning Commission letter of June 20, 2022, compliance with Aston Township Planning Commission minutes of June 22, 2022, and Zoning Hearing Board decision of June 29, 2022. Duly adopted this 20th day of July 2022, Township of Aston, by James M. Stigall, President, Board of Commissioners, and attested to by Kelly A. Pippin, Assistant Township Manager and Secretary, in the form of a motion.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item A, a month off for the commissioners. Commissioner Bowden, please.
I'd like to announce that there will be no public meeting held in the month of August 2022.
Thank you. Line item B, consider a motion authorizing the payment of invoices and payroll. Commissioner Doherty, please.
I make a motion to authorize the payment of invoices and payroll for the month of August 2022 in the form of a motion.
I have a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item C, consider a resolution to approve an intergovernmental agreement. Commissioner McGinn, please.
Thank you. Before I read this agreement in the form of a motion, just background for folks that might say, well, what is this? So a lot of folks are aware that Conchester Highway 322, the westernmost part, has already gone through and expanded. And for years, Joe Viscuso, it might be decades, it might be fair to say, PennDOT and others have looked at expanding and improving that roadway. So in this next phase, I know the township, our engineer, our staff have met with PennDOT on different occasions and briefing, and what this is essentially for PennDOT and the state to add a traffic camera at Springbrook Boulevard. So that's really as you enter Aston from Twin Oaks, Upper Chichester area. The benefit of this is that it's not going to require any funding from the township, and from a maintenance standpoint, PennDOT would be required to maintain those cameras, but it would be a net benefit for us and obviously in maintaining and monitoring traffic flow. So that's the background for it. So here I'll read this. Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Resolution Number 2022-107. Be it resolved that Aston Township Board of Commissioners, Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, hereby resolves that the Aston Township Manager, William J. DeFeo III, is hereby authorized and directed to sign an intergovernmental agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, acting through its Department of Transportation and Aston Township on its behalf. I make this in the form of a motion.
I A second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item D, consider a resolution to amend the fee schedule. Installation of cell towers, Commissioner Dockery.
Okay, I have a resolution here. So Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolution number 2022-108. Whereas the Board of Commissioners, Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, desires to amend the fees associated with the installation of cell towers or antennae associated therewith, which were previously set within Aston Township codified ordinances. And whereas the Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, has previously decided that these fees may be amended at the discretion of the Board of Commissioners by way of resolution. And whereas the Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, believes that it is now appropriate to reduce fees associated with work performed for wireless cellular facilities. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved by the Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, that the permit fee associated with the installation of cell towers or antenna associated therewith shall be 3% of the total cost of the job, including materials and labor, and the engineering escrow shall be reduced to $3,000. Resolved this 20th day of July, 2022, Board of Commissioners, James M. Stigall, President, attested to by Kelly Ann Pippin, in the form of a motion.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item E, consider a resolution to submit a multimodal transportation fund grant in the amount of $737,058 to be used for Concord Road. Commissioner Pendergrass.
Okay, I have another resolution. Be it resolved that the Township of Aston of Delaware County hereby requests multimodal transportation fund grant of $737,058 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the Concord Road streetscape. Be it further resolved that the applicants does hereby designate James Stigall, Council President, and William DeVoe, Township Manager, as the official to execute all documents and agreements between the Township of Aston and the Commonwealth Financing Authority to facilitate and assist in obtaining the request grant. I, Kelly Pippin, duly qualified Secretary of Township of Aston, Delaware County, PA, hereby certify that the foregoing is true and correct copy of the resolution duly adopted by the majority vote of the Board of Commissioners at a regular meeting held July 20th, 2022. And said resolution has been recorded in the minutes of the Township of Aston and remains in effect of this date. It is witnessed therefore that I fixed in the form of a motion.
Second.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item F, consider a resolution to approve a request for handicap parking. Commissioner Bowden, please.
Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Resolution 2022-110. Whereas the Aston Township Board of Commissioners, County of Delaware, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is hereby authorized by Chapter 420.01 of the Aston Township Codified Ordinance to establish by resolution a designated parking spot on a public highway for a handicapped person or disabled veteran who, in the discretion of the Aston Township Police Department, warrants such a spot. And whereas upon the recommendation of the Aston Township Police Department, the Aston Township Board of Commissioners desires to erect a handicap-only parking sign for the benefit of the residents of 13 Green Lane. And whereas because of the circumstances necessitating the need for the handicap parking spot on Green Lane, the Aston Township Police Department recommends installing the handicap-only parking sign in front of 12 Green Lane, and whereas the installation of the handicap-only parking sign is hereby authorized by the Aston Township Board of Commissioners, Township of Aston, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, resolved this 20th day of July 2022. At Board of Commissioners, James M. Stigall, President. In the form of a motion.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item G, announced notice of intent to amend Chapter 1043 of the Aston Township Codified Ordinances. Commissioner Berry.
Thank you, President Segal. I would like to announce notice of intent to amend Chapter 1043 of the Aston Township Codified Ordinances to update the Township Stormwater Management Ordinance.
Thank you. Line item H, consider a motion to approve a refund. Commissioner Dougherty, please.
I I make a motion to approve the refund to Oliver Heating and Cooling, 101 Waverly Avenue, Morden, PA, 19070, in the amount of $114. This refund is requested due to the cancellation of work from the homeowner in the form of motion.
I second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item I, consider a motion to approve a refund. Commissioner Doherty, please.
I make a motion to approve the refund to CoreLogic of Coppell, Texas, in the amount of $864.04. CoreLogic paid the taxes for the property located at 2218 South Lee Lane in error instead of the correct property located at 2218 North Lee Lane, in the form of a motion.
I have a second. Questions or comments?
Aye.
All- Beat me to it. All in favor?
I'm ahead of myself.
All in favor? All in favor? I didn't hear everybody. Opposed? Ayes have it. Line item J, consider a motion to approve a refund. Commissioner Doherty.
I make a motion to approve the refund to Rajpal Grewal, 1026 Crystal Road, Aston, PA, in the amount of $1,081.40. The taxes for this property were paid twice in error, once by the property owner and once by the property owner's neighbor, in the form of a motion.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. I'd like to move on. Escrow releases, Commissioner Higgins.
Is it okay if I read those now?
You're all good to go.
Somebody's being very good to me recently because I haven't had 10 or 12 to read, so that's good. Okay, Aston Township, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, Resolution 2022-111, whereas an ordinance number 240 and ordinance number 360 provide for escrow funds for completion of improvements, and whereas the Township Engineer and New Construction Committee has approved the request for escrow funds released to Stephen and Stephanie Martin, 104 Gerald Drive, Addition, Folio 1068-00- sub-account 7766129.835. Now therefore be it resolved that Aston Township executes such action as required by the Township Secretary and the President of the Board of Commissioners to release a sum of $1,037.50 payable to Stephen and Stephanie Martin, 104 Gerald Drive. Duly adopted this 20th day of July 2022. Township of Aston by James M. Stigall, President, Board of Commissioners, and attested to by Kelly A. Pippin, Township Secretary, in the form of a motion.
I have second. Question or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Two remaining are summary approvals. The following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Pannoni Associates for the month of July. Total $1,184.50 in the form of a motion.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Second one, the following amount is for engineering fees to be paid to Cirelli Associates, Inc. for the month of July. Total $846.25 in the form of a motion.
I have second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Commissioner Higgins.
Thank you.
I'd like to open up the floor to the public. Anybody have anything, please come to the podium, state your name and address.
Mary Ann Bullen, 3235 Darwin Circle in Aston. 2022 Community Day. The annual Aston Business Association Community Day will be held on Saturday, October 1st, 2022, from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Aston Community Center. Rain date Saturday, October 8th, 2022. Bike contest and bike rodeo will begin at 8:30 a.m. If participating, be at Big Lots by 8 a.m., and the rodeo is sponsored by Newman Nursing Program. And every year, they are the best. They give all their volunteers, they bring all the nursing students. And I forget, her name is Becky, and she's bringing like 15 girls. So she's wonderful. To register for the bike contest, go to Aston Township webpage or contact Maureen Dillon at astonbikecontest@gmail.com or Don and Kathy Gutman at Gutman, Gutman 122@verizon.net. Great prizes will be awarded for the best decorated bike, scooter, stroller, or wheelchair in 3 age groups. This year, it is Use Your Own Imagination. Reason I say wheelchair is because one year I was selling tickets up at the community center, and this little girl said, I can never walk in the parade because I can't do sports. And I thought, well, you can do your wheelchair in the parade. So we got together and decided that anything with wheels can join in the parade. And she was very excited. The parade will begin at 9 a.m. at Newman University and ending at the community center. Anyone interested in participating in the parade, please contact Nancy Bowden, 610-494-5490, or email nbowden@comcast.net. Immediately following the parade and opening ceremonies, the Business Expo, which is held inside the community center, will open. This is a great way to introduce and advertise your business. Anyone interested in the Business Expo, please contact Chairperson Ralph Chicatano at ralph@corvus, C-O-R-V-U-S group, group.com, or the ABA webpage, astonba.com. Throughout the day, we plan to have a number of different events, games, and activities. Rides featured by Betty's Bounce, bumper cars, giant slide, children's rides, photo booth, and many more. Tubs of Fun, rock wall, and a carnival game booth. We will also have many opportunities for the kids to enjoy a day filled with fun: duck pond, face painting, pumpkin painting, rock painting, tattoos, cookie decoration, and a children's craft table. Our big feature again this year is our pony rides. Last but not least, our own Delco Spider-Man and Delco Batman will join us to entertain and have pictures taken with the kids. We also have the axe throwing this year, which is a big event. Everybody seems to just love to throw the axes. So we will have that again this year. Come out and cheer our police and fire departments as they try to beat each other by eating as many pies as possible. This year will be a pie eating contest. Oh my gosh, no meatballs and no wings. Well, the meatballs were hot, that's why. Residents can walk around and enjoy trying samples of our food from our food court compliments of many of our Aston eateries. There will be hot dogs and hamburgers and drinks donated by our local businesses, along with entertainment from our local musicians in Aston. With all the events going on this year, I need as many adult and student volunteers as possible, which I always get many from Newman, and they are great. If you can give any of your time, please contact me at 610-368-3102 or email me at mimibull@comcast.net. With that being said, I just want to say that we have several people that are on the ABA in this room tonight. Bill DeFeo, Ralph Chicatano. Who am I missing? Maggie. Oh, sorry, Maggie. But anyway, and Nancy, well, she does the Parks and Recs with Maggie, which is also very well. But I just want to say that the Aston Business Society Association has gone over and beyond to help our small businesses in Aston Township, and that's thanks to our board members. So thank you.
Thanks, Mary.
Carol Cannon, 92nd Avenue, Media. I'm here on behalf of the Aston Township Historical Society. Since you won't be meeting next month, we have to invite you to a wonderful presentation September the 8th, a Thursday evening at 7 p.m. to learn about the murder at Red Gables, which occurred on October the 6th of 1908. Did the wife kill him, or didn't she? Was it her sister? Come and find out. It's very interesting. It put Aston on the map. Thank you.
Thanks. I'm not going to sleep tonight to try to figure it out.
It's always the wife.
Anyone else? All right. Let's go through other business. Commissioner Doherty, do you have anything?
I just want to say congratulations and thanks to Sergeant Mike Ruggieri for his 25 years of service. And I want to wish everyone a happy remainder of your summer. That's it.
Thank you. Right.
Yeah, same for me. Just want to congratulate Mike Ruggieri for 25 years.
Thanks.
Congratulations to Sergeant Ruggieri, 25 years of service, and he can do 25 more if he likes.
Commissioner Higgins?
Thank you. Also, congratulations to Sergeant Michael Ruggieri. And also, the only thing I care about on Community Day is the duck pond. So, thank you. So, the murder at Red Gables, 1908, where is it going to be held at in the community? Okay, like you've done in the past. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bowden?
I have a couple of things. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Mike Ruggieri on 25 years. Second of all, I want to remind everybody that we have a 9/11 observance, on September the 11th at 2 o'clock at the Veterans Memorial Garden here in Aston. And lastly, we're advertising and looking for crossing guards for the upcoming school year. If you're interested, it's a really great time to mingle with the children. Please fill your applications out, turn them into the police department. If you want an application, you can get them at our Aston Police Department. After your security clearances and all are clear, you'll be hired to work either as a sub, and it pays $15.35 an hour. So for some of you people out there that need a little extra income, here it is. It's a couple hours a day, and you get to work with me. Have a great summer.
Commissioner McGinn?
Yeah, thank you. A couple things. First, Aston has always been a bit of a sports town, and particularly a baseball town. So I want to say a quick congratulations to our Aston Middletown Little League 11 and 12-year-olds. Both of those teams won the District 19 championship. The 11s, some folks will remember, we had them in as 10-year-olds, and they won the state championship as 10-year-olds. So both teams are in sectionals right now for a chance to go to the state title. So best of luck to everybody there and all the residents and that play and coach those teams. Second, something happy to report goes back a number of years, as Joe Viscuso and others can attest to, but the rumors of the paving of Aston Mills Road are apparently true. That is a state road. As I've reminded a number of constituents, it's a challenge and probably the number one issue I hear about in our ward, in the second ward, and the rough condition that's in. So PennDOT had it on its paving plan before. It had been pushed off. This year it's been confirmed that it's on there. And that would be all the way from Concord Road down to the roundabout over by the VOTEC. So that's scheduled to be done this summer. And thankfully, that's going to get done. I know that'll make a lot of folks happy and maybe save us all a few bucks on our car repairs next time we go in for inspection. And lastly, in a little bit, I guess, of a bittersweet announcement is this will be our last Board of Commissioners meeting in this room. We're off in August, and we're moving the Commissioners meeting to the new Aston Township Firehouse on Dutton Mill Road. They have a great public meeting room. Frankly, it's a little bit larger of a space than we have here. And as you know, we've moved the township offices from here at Pennell Road to New Road temporarily. This will be our last Commissioners meeting in the old room. And I know a lot of folks have a lot of memories here. And while I'm the new guy to the board, with my Uncle Jim being on the board, I've been in and out of here for those swearing-ins for 30 years prior. So yeah. Well, not all. I wasn't there for all of them, but anyway, I just want to make that announcement, and we'll have that on the website and make other announcements as well, so folks are aware of that.
Thank you. Bill?
All right, just congratulations again to Sergeant Michael Ruggieri, and just a news flash on my sports updater here. The 11-year-old Aston Middletown Little League team tonight won the Section 5 championship, so they'll move on to states. The 12-year-olds are in tournament play in Section 5 also. I believe they won tonight. They 10-run the team in the 5th inning, and I think they're a couple more wins away from moving to states. So just an update on all that. And again, congratulations to all the sports teams, including the Aston Valley 10-year-old team that won the Drexel Hill tournament last night. So great job, all those baseball players.
Thank you. Kelly?
Registration is ended as of today. They're full for next week, and
The road program will be starting any day now. So finishing up in Lower Chi and coming right here, so residents will start to get notices.
All right,
Jim, can I interrupt you? I forgot one thing. I'm so terribly
Go ahead.
sorry. We're going to have a movie night here in Aston on August the 25th, Thursday night. We'll be up at the community center. Starts at 7 o'clock. Outside with the movie, we'll have games and all for the kids, refreshments, whatever the movie is going to be. And I'm just telling everybody at the same time. Encanto, which if any of you parents out there have seen it, it's a terrific movie for your children. So come on up, bring a blanket, bring a chair, and come and enjoy it.
all right, thanks. All right, just a couple of quick things. Congratulations, Sergeant Mike Ruggieri. Very good asset to the police force, and I'm glad he's with us. Hope he gives us a lot more years. The Art District. The overlay, it was a dream of the commissioners many years ago. Didn't know how it was going to go, and it has taken off with great support. Commissioner John Doherty's really thrilled with the way things are turning out there. Just you coming aboard is another asset to that area, and I'm just kind of glad to see that a dream's coming true. And so we encourage more people in the Arts District to come into that area, try to get that more developed for everyone so that it'll be hopefully a Sunday afternoon or a weekend. You could take a family up there and see a lot of things. So it was a great dream that I think's finally come true. And again, please, with the heat, Community Center Library is open. And thanks, Joe. I didn't really realize this is the last meeting at this. So we're going to have a sledgehammer meeting after to tear it down. But with that, I need a motion to adjourn. Thank you.